Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Are you all ready? Whenever you're ready. You guys good?
Yeah.
Kick it off, roasty mostly. All right. Are we going to close our door? I don't know. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is TwitchCon day 1.
We made it.
How we feeling? How we feeling?
Yeah.
Good? I am so happy to be here with you all. It's been 3 years. 3 years since the last TwitchCon, and whew, it is packed. Tons of people, tons of memories that are going to be made this weekend. So, and we're going to start off right with our first panel of the day, Charity Streaming 101. Who's excited? Come on. Who's excited? Who loves charity streaming? All of us. That's why we're here.
The ones who don't have their hand raised, you will by the end of this.
Absolutely. Or you'll be influenced to start your first campaign.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Charity Streaming 101. We are here to talk about charity streaming and how you can use your communities to create a positive impact for different causes that you care about, okay? And we are all here as panelists. We have used different platforms for charity streaming. We've been doing it for a long time. Some of us have, did our first campaign when we first started streaming, me, and that's how I found my place in this industry of streaming and found my mission to support others. So we all have different paths, and we have all different stories, and of course, different platforms, so we can talk about our different experiences. So we're going to dive into introductions. I am MsAshRocks, also known as Ashley. I am your host, and I am also a panelist here. I am a Twitch partner. I am a Twitch ambassador as well. I've been streaming since 2016, very long time. And I did my first charity stream on Tiltify 2017 for St. Jude Play Live. And after that campaign, I found that I belonged in this industry to help others and do good with my community. So I've been doing it for a very long time. I currently work at Tiltify as well as their community manager. So I have a lot of experience. I've talked with so many different fundraisers and creators to get their experience as well that we'll be sharing today. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to throw it to Libby, also known as Askesienne. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Absolutely. So hi, y'all. My name's Libby, also known as Askesienne. Libby's easier. Totally get it. I started streaming in 2014, also because of charity. I was a Twitch viewer. I was a member of communities. And I realized I was watching someone else do a charity stream, and I was like, oh, I'm already playing games. I'm already wasting all my time playing video games by myself. So I might as well do it for a good reason. And even if I raise, $5 for something, it will have been time not wasted. And so that was what actually started me from going to a community member to a streamer. My background is in marketing, communications, and social media. And as a result, I've sort of bumbled into, oh, wait, I can do this job in an industry that I love. So my background is also in community management. I'm currently a senior community manager at Players vs. Cancer. The reason I'm on this panel is sort of a long, convoluted story that I will shorten, and it is that last year, time is an illusion now. Last year, I won a grant from the Twitch Pass Forward program, and my grant was specifically to write a guidebook on charity streaming. It's called Charity Streaming 101. It is completely free on the internet. Oh, look, it's what this panel is called to, and that was kind of why we put this together. Super, super lucky that we asked Ash to be a panelist, and then also Twitch was like, oh, wait, but will you host this one? So we've got all the knowledge here. It's amazing. So yeah, I do a bunch of things in the charity space, both in the community as a streamer and as a creator, but also from a nonprofit organization helping run our creator programs. And I'll kick it to Nikki.
Hi, everyone. My name's Nikki, but I go by CamillaPanda. I am a variety streamer. I started in 2020 during the pandemic because at that point in time, I'm usually traveling the country as a volunteer for a robotics competition, and everything was shut down. And I'm like, well, I'm going to play video games at home. I might as well do some good. And I sat there and went, hey, Askesienne, how do I stream? What do? So my first campaign and first time streaming was with St. Jude Play Live. And I sat there and said, you know what, maybe if I'm lucky, we'll raise $100 and we'll do some good. And then at the end of May, I hit Twitch affiliate and raised $3,500 and went, I guess I'm okay at this. So I guess I'll just keep doing this for a bit. And now it's led me from working in the nonprofit industry. I'm now at a talent agency as the chief marketing director person. And I still stream, and we still do charity streams. We just wrapped up our Players versus Cancer campaign at like $1,500, but the last St. Jude Play Live, my community raised $11,111. It's a lot of money.
It's a rock star.
So it's your turn.
My turn. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, but I go by Smirky on all different socials. I have been streaming for just over 10 years now, and I have been fundraising for charity consistently since 2018. My first ever campaign was in 2014, even before I streamed on Twitch, fundraising for an organization called Charity Water, which is, they are here in the charity zone if you want to stop by and say hi. I have, over the years, fundraised over $65,000 for various causes, St. Jude Play Live, mental health causes, LGBTQIA+ causes, since I resonate with that community. Variety gaming streamer, stream a game called Toontown, which used to be like a Disney MMO from back in the day. We love our like early 2000s MMOs. So that's kind of the vibe, but I play a bunch of other games, and I just remember like when I first fundraised for St. Jude in 2018, just realizing the impact that, you know, we can have with our platforms by, you know, like taking it a step further beyond just playing games or doing art or creating music, and being able to, you know, use what we do as creators to make a real tangible difference in, you know, the lives of so many people around the world. And, you know, I just think it's a truly amazing thing. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy that we get to be here at TwitchCon and talk all about the amazing world of charity streaming, whether you're just starting out, you've never done a charity stream, you have no idea, you know, how to get started, or maybe you have done a charity stream and you want to learn some important skills, or you want to, you know, hone your craft. We are here to cover all kinds of topics, and I think this is going to be a really exciting panel.
Absolutely. And if you don't get to ask us questions for our Q&A or even around the weekend, please reach out to us to, you know, through DMs, Discord, whatever it may be, because we're here to help, and we're here for one thing only, and that's to do good with our communities. So feel free to reach out, especially me, because that's my full-time job, so, you know.
Same. I say that all the time to our creators. I'm like, it is literally my job to hold your hand to get this set up for you. Like, I
Yes.
got you. So yes, please.
Yes, yeah. And
have
we're-
us help you.
Absolutely, and we're going to get into incentives and how to plan and everything. So if you, again, still have questions, please ask. We're here to help. So let's get into it. What is charity streaming, y'all? Let's cover the basics real quick. So charity streaming is a fun and rewarding way to spice up your and have impact towards causes that matter to you. I think it's super important to choose causes that you're passionate about, especially if there's events going around, you know, the world. Get into it, you know, get dialed in there. Create that campaign, get ready to do some good with your community. And I think it's important to take your time while you're doing this and plan it out. Now, I know we all have done our first charity stream. Can you go back to your first charity stream? How did that go? Were you rushed? I was rushed. I was like, I have to do this, I have to do it, I have to do it. But I'm telling you, every single campaign, you learn something new. We've been doing it for years and years, and I'm still learning. Oh, this incentive works. Oh, this works. Oh, this tweet did good. Oh, this brand giveaway did better than this one, you know? So many different paths of creating your campaign and making it fun. That's important, making it fun, all right? You don't, I think it's important to also note that you have to have a full cup when you're doing this, okay? Mental health is super important. We need to touch on that as well. Yeah. You can't give out of an empty cup, so make sure you are okay. Then you create your campaign with your community. So.
And I think that also ties into what is up next, which this is what charity streaming is, but what charity streaming is not, a competition. It is super easy for us to sit here and say, I've raised this, I've raised this, I've raised this, and look at someone who is raising $1 million and go like, man, I'm doing nothing, right? Or looking at a competition and saying like, well, I'm not doing enough because someone else is doing more than me. So one of the things we talk about with charity streaming is it's only a competition when it's fun. You know what was fun was when Rock Squad and Team Kitty had a fight for whatever place we were in on the leaderboard on Play Live one year. That was mutually agreed upon razzing of like, ha 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 ha, we're overtaking you. And it was a way to drive our own creators. That's the fun kind, and that is, oh, well, here's somebody else that's doing a great job. What are they doing that I can learn from? But it should not, and we're going to touch on kind of the mental game in depth kind of towards the end, but it is definitely not this idea of like comparative for you, right? It is not that I have to raise a certain amount or I'm not good enough. If you raise something at all, you're doing amazing. And if you raise nothing in terms of dollars, you are raising awareness because you spent your content time doing something good. So it's a very important, charity streaming is not.
Absolutely. And did you both want to touch on that too? Mm-hmm. Just how streaming is fun, you know?
It's supposed to be good stuff.
And
I mean, I can always say, like, I greatly enjoy seeing other people, even if they just get a donation of like $1. It's so exciting to see people just be like, hey, we made an impact, and then hear them be super excited for a cause. When I'm like, because when I do charity streams, I try to rate other people doing a charity stream as well, whether it's a same nonprofit or just like a similar one, or just someone else is just running a campaign and it's a single day, so I'm going to go and support them. So just seeing like the pure joy of someone just being like, thank you for donating $1 to this awesome charity, because it's going to go towards making sure like kids are getting health care, or there's research being done in some rare cancer, or a student is going to get like a robotics kit. Anything like that is just so exciting to see, and it makes it so worth it.
And then it's just like, it's fun when it is fun, and like that's also kind of the thing with being a creator. Like, you know, you might as well like end up inspiring someone in your own community to create their own charity campaign and do their part to fundraise for a cause that's really important. I've had so many people within my own community that have gone on to raise hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars for causes, all because of, you know, the work that I did within that community. And I think, you know, as creators, like your impact can go so much further than you might even realize sometimes. And you don't, you know, it doesn't matter if you're big or small or all these different things. Like we all, you know, have the power to create something really magical with our campaigns. And when we have fun, that translates to everyone having fun, and then other creators might want to have their own campaigns and have their own fun twist on it, and it's just like a little chain reaction thing, which I think is really awesome. So charity streaming it's really fun. It's one of my favorite things to do on, you know, Twitch, and I just think it's like, it's just really amazing when we can like transform our platform into something even more special. So
absolutely. And any form of content you're doing, you can fundraise, all right? If you like reading books to your community, you could fundraise. If you like playing games, if you like doing Just Dance, if you play music, any form of content you're doing, you can create an impact with your community and fundraise. And there's so many different platforms you can choose from, all right? And you can tie in your content with the incentives you're doing and make it fun. That's what it's all about. So, and just know that, again, reiterating what they're saying, the awareness that you're bringing is so impactful, and I want you all to take that away today. Just you being there and sharing awareness of that cause is so impactful, and that cause is going to thank you in the end, all right? So don't worry, even if you raise $0, that awareness is so powerful. Word of mouth is powerful. So keep that in mind today. And charity streaming is also not a convenient or easy trick to grow your community. While yes, event streams get special attention, that's not why we do it. So, you know, you just want to do good with your community. You just want to create that campaign. You don't want to do it just for the attention of it. All right? I want you to have the passion with your community. Share that passion with your community as well. Like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I relate to this cause. Or you don't have to relate to the cause at all. You could just want to support it because you love the mission and what they're supporting. So I wanted to ask you all, what really inspires you to fundraise for a cause? What are the initial steps that you take to choose a cause that you fundraise for? And we can start with Libby.
All right. So for me, I always want to make sure that I have a personal connection to what's going on, whether it is something. So my fun fact about Players vs. Cancer, one of the reasons that I work here is, so Players vs. Cancer is a component of the American Association for Cancer Research, which is a 115-year-old nonprofit that just funds scientists. It just funds people researching cancer, all types of cancer. And my father was a pediatric oncologist growing up. He took care of kids with cancer, which is like the most inspiring, but also like horrendously sad job in the world. He was a cancer researcher. And he was an AACR member for 30 years. And my first day on the job, someone in the office like hands me like a trophy that he was like, oh, this is from like a conference he was supposed to go to that he never picked up. So that's on my desk, which is really cool. But for me, it's about causes that matter. And if you don't have something that you already have in mind of like, oh yes, this particular nonprofit is exactly who I want to fundraise for, one of the big things is doing due diligence on a site like Charity Navigator, making sure that you understand, you can search for, you know, I found this nonprofit, is the money going to go towards such and such a thing? Do I know that? You can also use the search function on Tiltify to look for, hey, I'm looking for cancer research. I just type cancer research in the bar, and then a bunch of cancer research charities pop up. And you can click and you can research. The biggest thing there is just finding something, whether it is a cause or a particular nonprofit that matters to you, and finding that they are on the donation platform. And if they're not, it's fairly easy to do. One of the ones that is local to me that is a patient care organization at the hospital that my dad used to work at, they weren't on Tiltify, so I emailed them and I was like, hey guys, can you sign up for this website, please? We'd like to fundraise for you. And they did it, and it took, you know, I think like less than a week. And then you're able to use those donation processing services. How about you? What's your drive?
Ooh, so I have been volunteering with high school kids and elementary school kids for like it's been like 15 years.
Yep.
Oh, I feel old all of a sudden. Anyways, I've been volunteering with like elementary school kids and high school kids for like 15 years at this point as a mentor in robotics, and then volunteering at robotics competitions. So for me, being able to have like opportunities for students and kids is very like important to me. So I've fundraised for my own robotics team that I help run. I've helped fundraise for the overarching organization. I've fundraised for St. Jude, as I've said, and some other stuff that I fundraised for was 1,000 Dreams Fund, because they are supporting women and non-binary individuals in streaming and providing grants and that kind of stuff. So stuff that like I can relate to, or I can see like one day maybe like I might have a student that needs like medical care from St. Jude. So being able to like pay it forward kind of, or like having just being able to make sure like a student has the opportunity to have a robotics kit in their classroom is super important to me as well.
Yeah, I actually had a cousin who 2 years into me fundraising for St. Jude, they went to St. Jude because they got diagnosed with cancer, and suddenly it just got so much more personal for me, my family, and it was amazing because we had already been like fundraising for them, and now it just further amplified my drive to, you know, fundraise for that cause in particular. But when it comes to choosing an organization, it's important to do your research. It's important to use those tools like Charity Navigator, and also exploring causes on platforms like Tiltify in order to make sure that you understand not just what the organization's about, but it's important to take a deeper dive too if you're still unsure, understanding things like their purpose, where funds go, how other campaigns have contributed to certain projects or anything like that. Is there any kind of research that's out there that's like published that gives insight into some kind of topic within the organization? There are just so many interesting like aspects out there in terms of like what to research. And of course, another great way to research is, you know, watching other creators who might be doing charity streams. I believe like a lot of people tend to use like that charity tag when it comes to like, you know, Twitch streams. So if you just if you go browse and you type charity in the tag, you can see any creator. You can probably find creators right now who are using that tag and fundraising for a cause using certain platforms, and you can always win more that way. So those are some great ways to kind of understand, you know, what organizations are out there that you can fundraise for, and then, you know, when it comes to like choosing one, find one that resonates with you, whether it's your values as a creator, your own personal values, what, you know, what is a cause that is important to you or your community, local. I think there's a lot of great ways to find causes that really matter, because there are so many causes that matter, so many.
I think there's one bonus way if you're here at TwitchCon, sorry people watching live, is you can go to the charity zone downstairs and you can just go look at all the charities. So there's like the Tiltify booth, and then there's just stalls and stalls and stalls of many, many nonprofits that you can go visit and talk directly to someone from the team about their mission. So do that, because they're very cool people ready to give you stuff and talk to you about how awesome you are and how awesome they are and how you can work together.
And just a quick bonus point, there's also, there might be a booth or two where you might find some people actually fundraising for charity on the TwitchCon show floor. I'll be streaming tomorrow at Donor Drive's booth. So that, there's creators, yeah. There's,
Yeah, Nikki too.
yeah,
I am
so,
as well.
yeah, so there are creators that are here at TwitchCon that will be charity streaming from TwitchCon, so you can kind of see them in action, and I just think that's also a great way to like see how, understand what they do, what strategies they might implement into their streams. I just wanted to throw that out there real
Does
quick.
it count if I throw cash over the wall at you? Does that go to the goal, or is that just for fun?
You know,
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
we can make it work one way or another.
I also just want to real quick point out that at a lot of conventions, there's now like special areas for nonprofits to have tables at. It's not just at TwitchCon, at PAX West, East, and Unplugged. There's like the PAX Together rooms. There's all kinds of different stuff. I know DreamHack had a couple of nonprofits as well. So if you are a frequent con goer, you will probably see a couple nonprofits throughout various conventions.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to share a mini story of how I first started streaming,
Yeah,
you know, and
please.
charity streaming. When I started streaming in 2016 December, my partner was diagnosed with leukemia, so I was lost. He was in a hospital. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was just worried for him. And once I found Tiltify and that I could fundraise for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, I said, wow, I can make impact and support other people that are going through what my partner's going through. So that's how I got into charity streaming. You don't have to have a personal story like that, but again, just finding something you're passionate about is super important. And the moment that I did that first fundraiser, it just kept spiraling, and here we are, 6 years later, still doing it and having a blast. But throughout these years of content creation, I've found myself fundraising for mental health causes, queer causes, keeps on going, breast cancer, everything, women in tech and in streaming on Twitch, everything. So through your content creation journey, you'll find more passions every year, every month, maybe every day.
I think what you said is so important. You don't have to have a personal story, but you do have something in your story.
Yeah.
There's somebody out there that has a nonprofit about that thing, right? And then the very last piece that we want to talk about, important to look out for, and I don't know that we need to necessarily run things, please, for the love of everything, do not use your own personal tipping service to take charity donations. Use Tiltify, use Donor Drive, use one of the systems that processes those donations. It is a tax nightmare for you and your viewers because they don't get a receipt. Tiltify does this amazing thing that anytime someone donates to a campaign, they get an email that says, thank you for your donation to nonprofit here. And then they get, that's good for them for their taxes. Just don't do it. I have a rant that I'll save if anyone wants to hear me rant about it at a different time, but of the difference between the word tip and the word donation. If someone is giving you money on your stream, it's a tip. If someone is giving something to charity, it's a donation. They need to be separate. But that's not what this panel's about, so maybe I'll go yell outside the hallway of the tax panel or something. But
That's the next panel submission, right?
yeah, it's just an hour of me yelling about tipping services. It's a viewer trust thing, right? Because yes, you could take it all in through your, stream elements or whatever, and then say, oh, here's my receipt. But also, like, your community member is the person doing that donation, and they need to do it the right way. So it's not even like a question or a thing. It just use a service that is meant to collect that, like a Tiltify, which has, and most of the time, like Tiltify especially, has amazing creator tools, right? The alerts, the bars, we'll get into that. Those are different slides. But there's a reason that you use those services and not your own, so please make sure that you are correctly setting that up.
Yes, and with Tiltify, every single donation goes to the charity's bank account. Every single donation. You don't have to worry about it at all. And I'm biased, but not really, you know?
Yeah.
Tiltify is the best. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and whether you're using, you know, Tiltify, Donor Drive, the new Twitch charity tool, just do your research. There are articles out there. You can find, you know, information on how donations are processed. That's just a very important thing to look at when you're figuring out which platform to use to fundraise.
Yeah, all that info is on the Tiltify site. I'm sure on other platforms too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we're going to get into the next slide. How long should I stream for? What length of an event should I take on as a broadcaster? Now, this is all based on you and your community. Number one, all right? Of course, with each campaign, you're going to try, you know, different things and see what works and what doesn't work. But also, we have to talk about charity events, because different causes have events that they have throughout the year, and they can last for a month or the whole year or just half of the year. I know with St. Jude Play Live, it's for the month, so usually people stream the whole month for their campaign. Now, you can get burnt out. We got to talk about that. You can get burnt out. You can only do a week. You can do one day. You can do a couple hours for a whole week, you know? It's based on how you feel and what your community wants to do. I think asking your community is super important too. Don't be afraid, they're there for you. You know, you built that community, they're there for you and to do some good. Hey, how long would y'all like me to stream? You know, what can we do? And I always communicate with my community. We'll do the full month, we'll do the full week. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's start our schedule. So let's talk about our stream schedule and how you have done your campaigns in the past.
Yeah. So I kind of take this case by case personally. If it's something that runs an entire month, I will talk about it for the couple of weeks before and say, hey guys, for all of September, every stream that we do, we're going to be fundraising for Players vs. Cancer. There's this event called End Cancer Disparities, right? That kind of component. I have also had just kind of days where I'm like, I really want to do this. I want to be part of this really cool cause. They're fundraising. It's, you know, Women's History Month, so I want to fundraise for the 1,000 Dreams Fund. Okay, great. But all I have is this one day. And so what I'll do is I'll turn that one day into like the big party, right? Instead of sort of casually through the whole stream, oh yeah, well if we do this, it's this incentive. Over a whole month, it's like, this is it. If we're gonna do something crazy, we're gonna do the crazy thing today. And again, it's like Ash really pointed out, it's managing your own burnout and what makes sense for you. For example, I don't do, like as a policy, like 12-hour streams. I can't do it because I'm like out for the next several days. I have a bunch of chronic illness weirdness going on. It's not going to happen for me. And I will choose either based, a lot of the times it kind of gets simple where a certain month is for a certain cause. And so you're like, oh, okay, I can pick time within that. And if it's not, it's really just about whatever you would like to do. Sometimes you do, oh, it's my birthday, so I want to do something for this stream on this day. I like when they tend to run over a week or two, because you have viewers who can, hey, I couldn't make Thursday, but I'm here on Sunday, right? So I tend to lean towards a week or two, and each of my streams in those 2 weeks is based on it. But I'll kind of play it by ear with the cause and whatever makes sense.
Yeah, I tend to run charity streams for like a month long, not every single day of the month. I stick to my normal schedule. It's just a like added bonus of, hey, if you donate, you'll get me covered in glitter and googly eyes, and you can just kind of chuckle at the fact that I literally have glitter smeared on my face. Just kind of not always adding like extra streams. Like sometimes I will add an extra stream day or like Friday or a Saturday. If I don't have like work or something the next day, I will try to push myself to go like 5 hours on stream depending on how I'm feeling, but fully recognizing that's not going to happen every Friday, Saturday. Sometimes I just got to cut stream early and go to sleep or just do something to take care of myself because, as Ash said at the beginning of the panel, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you can't do the best job streaming. You can't be like excited about everything all the time if you're tired or if you've had a really bad day or you're just not feeling it.
Yeah, I recently, like, just as a general thing for my schedule, I've been trying out, like, every Sunday I sit down and plan out my schedule for the next week or so. And I think, you know, if you either have a schedule or if you don't have a schedule right now, I think that's a great way to kind of like dive into it. You know, try certain things, maybe do a few streams this week. If you're feeling up, maybe add an extra stream into the next week, something like that. And the same goes for charity. There are scheduling tools on platforms like Tiltify, and even on your Twitch channel, there's a schedule that you can build. So that's a great way to also let your community know, especially when you're offline as well. Like, hey, this is when I'm going to be streaming for, you know, this week, and oh, I'm also doing a charity stream here. So I think that's also a great way to kind of like figure out, you know, you can set your own limits with your own schedule. You kind of are like your own CEO in a way as a content creator. So you can set your schedule, whether you do it alongside your community or you just try to figure it out on your own first. You know, there's no right or wrong way. You have control of your schedule, and you can adjust as you continue to find out what works and what doesn't work.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And we're going to go into our next slide here. No matter where you're starting from, some basic streaming technology setup is key. All right, you gotta have your OBS or whatever streaming software you're using. All right, you gotta have that first, and then you have to choose your platform that you're going to create your campaign on. And then every platform has their own features. I know at Tiltify you have incentives such as rewards, milestones, and your schedule feature. Targets, everything. So going through the basic of the platform and how you can set up fun ways of your campaign, go through all of that and prepare. It's very important. But of course, we've all had our first fundraiser, and it changes each time. I know in my first fundraiser, I had no incentives, nothing. And just to make it clear, you don't need these things to be successful with your fundraising, but it does increase your success with your campaigns. Just making it fun, having incentives for your community to redeem, for you to do some silly things. And I say silly things because I've done everything under the sun for my incentives. Yep. But just take it into account. See what that platform has to offer. We also have overlays that make it so easy for you to literally set up your campaign in 5 minutes. We have a template for you. It shows your overlay progress bar. It shows your alerts, your event list for each donation that came in, and so many other widgets with our overlay feature. So that technology is important, you know, just testing everything, making sure your mic's okay, camera, everything is okay, especially alerts. That's number one. You want your community to see when those donations are coming in so they can react and make it a good time, which is super, super important. I think that's the base that you should have for charity fundraising, because that's how you get your community hyped. That's how people get excited, like, oh my God, another donation to our goal, another one, another one. Super, super fun. So take that into account. Look at the features that that platform has to offer. But I'm sure these other panelists have a lot of tech things that they go through for their campaigns.
Yeah, so my typical list, obviously, so I don't know what the kind of read in here, how many folks are already streamers but thinking about charity or have done charity streams or whatever, and then how many folks are like, oh no, I've not streamed at all, this is how I want to start. There's like, okay, I was gonna say, so I was gonna say, like, you start with your, you know, your actual broadcasting software, right, your OBS, that kind of stuff. Not probably the place for that tutorial, but be like for the charity stream specifically, adding alerts. My sort of baseline visual is alerts and the goal bar. I will kind of roll up on people who are charity streaming who don't have the goal on their screen. I go, how am I supposed to know that you're fundraising? There's such a mental game for a viewer in that bar at the top, going from like 100 to 200 to, oh my God, we're almost there. I should donate too. I want to be part of this moment. So alerts and goal bars are the kind of minimum. I'm a minimalist with overlays, so some people go nuts. I like some subtlety. Alerts, a little bit different. That's the moment that you want people to, like, the noise goes off, or you're doing a horror stream and it screams in your ear, or whatever. Haha, funny. Not for me. The alerts are key. My kind of Bonus level with that is make sure that you have a recurring timer in your chat from your bot, whatever you're using. So even if you're not talking about it every second, your bot is going, hey guys, we're fundraising for such and such a cause here. Here's the link. And it'll go off every, I forgot what I have mine set to, like 8 minutes or something random, to remind people. And then the one that I would say is the most overlooked is the Twitch extensions. There is a Twitch extension for Tiltify. There is a Twitch extension for Donor Drive. I'm fairly certain the other charities, and obviously Twitch Charity is going to have their own like overlay system in the player directly. It'll just pop the box on the bottom of your stream. So even if someone is just watching and they scroll down this much, there's a button to click donate, and they can just do it without having to tab out and leave your stream. And I will roll up to people charity streaming and not see the extension. I'm like, I think you're missing out on people clicking immediately to that moment. And it's an easy thing to overlook because it's like, oh, it's another thing I have to set up, and then I have to click the button, and I have to put my Tiltify thing. But in my experience, it's been worth it because it's a really easy viewer experience, right? It's that immediate, seamless, hey, just scroll down. It's right there, click, I want to give $10, and it'll process immediately. They scroll right back up and watch the alert go off. So don't sleep on the extensions.
Yeah, viewer experience is like super important in this because you want to make sure your community feels involved and you can thank them and just, you know, be like, hey, like, thank you for supporting this cause. So having those alerts, and then also a little bit of like what you were saying, the mind game of having the bar up is so, so important. Because you'll have some people that just find your stream for the first time and they're like, you're $5 away from that goal. Just here you go. Instead of a sub, just your goal's been met. I've also had folks who like to fight over its ending in .00 or a very nice number. And then people will do the math of making it just not a nice number and not 00, and then everyone else has to now do the math and then donate again to make it back to the nice number, or then make it a whole number. There was, I think, a solid hour in one of my charity streams where it just was a constant $1.69, $1.07, and it just kept going off, and I just had to sit there and be like, you don't even get like an incentive with that. You're just
having fun.
You're just having fun with it.
My team at PBC says like our entire foundation is funded by the division of people that like even numbers and people who like 69-cent donate. Like it's just those people going to war is how all charities raise money. So
it's hilarious. You could just sit there and laugh and be like, haha, like it's a very nice number. But it does a lot of good just having that bar up there and pointing it out too. Just like, I know the fact that this does not end in .00 is annoying someone, and you have the power to fix it. You can just donate $1 and whatever that amount of number changes to make it say .00, and then as soon as it happens, go. I know someone is very upset that this does not say 69 at the end of this, and you have the power to change it immediately.
It's like the worst thing when like 2 people try to do it at the same time. So then like the number becomes even, and then it goes back to being uneven, and we're like, oh no, now we have to do this again. But to round it up, like something I always say is how every dollar matters and every cent truly counts. So even when you're getting those like $1.69 donations, like you're multiplying that by however many people are getting involved or how many times they're doing it, and it truly does add up for whatever cause you're trying to fundraise for. So keep that in mind, you know, how every single donation that comes in is truly like having a tangible impact. That's where researching your organization comes in, because if you have those talking points, you're able to translate, hey, you know, thank you for the $1, this is what that $1 does, or this is what those $5 does. So to round out the very funny conversation there.
Nice.
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 Very nice.
Do charities have any way to help me? What can I expect when working with them? This is going to vary wildly. There's so many different charities that have streamer programs. They have Discords you can join where they can support you. Number 1, toolkits. Majority of charities have toolkits. You're probably wondering, what is a toolkit? A toolkit can have images for you to use on your stream, overlays. Some charities have custom overlays that they build for you. I know St. Jude Play Live. And I know we have some through Tiltify that we built that way too. Just helping you out, like with facts that you can share with your community, that will be included with your toolkit. Gifts that give, $5 does this, $10 does that. They usually have those fact sheets for you there. And just fun little things that they can send you too. Some charities go above and beyond and they will send you some incentive ideas. You know, it could be being boozled.
No, thank you.
Please no. Please no.
I never want to taste the stink bug bean ever again.
That is single-handedly the worst
That
one.
is the worst bean boozled.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing being boozled anymore.
I've heard this is the next slide, spoiler, but I've heard the spicy one's pretty okay and not like, oh, here's dishwater. But so on the toolkit thing, talking points are really key. You'll be able to get whatever information on the charity that's happening. But also, those are things for you to keep in your mind that when someone donates, it's not just like, oh, you can like read it off at the beginning of stream and be like, this is the charity I'm fundraising for. But the version of that works really well with audiences is like, oh my God, Nice Gamer 69, thank you for the $20.69 to insert charity here. Did you know that the American Association for Cancer Research is the world's oldest cancer nonprofit, and you've been helping people cure all types of cancer for 115 years? Anyway, let's get back to the game. Someone's going to hear that and go, oh, wow, this is an organization with impact, right? So those components are really important to have at the ready. I usually keep, I'm a weirdo. I print it and I put it on my desk because I don't want to have another screen open while I'm streaming. But the other thing is, so Ash very eloquently talked about there's tons of charities that have streamer programs, Discords, a community manager to talk to you about stuff. Some charities don't, but they already have that material. It's their baseline marketing material. So if there's a foundation that you want to fundraise for, they don't have a streamer program, email them. I mean, if they do have a streamer program, talk to them. Email them, talk to their Discord. I'm not saying don't reach out to people with existing streamer programs. But if there's a foundation that doesn't have something in this space yet, they don't have the gamer department, they still have this material. And knowing that someone wants to go and advocate for them, they will probably very happily hand it to you, whether that's their logo or talking points or something like that. It might not be super customized to streaming, but it will still be information that you have to pass along. And they'll probably be super psyched to hear about it, because if they're not in this space, it's likely because they haven't heard that it's really a thing. So you might be their window into the streaming universe as well.
Absolutely.
Any other charity interact?
I will.
Yeah, go for it.
I will because I previously have worked in the nonprofit industry as at a marketing agency for nonprofits and then at a nonprofit. When I was working at the agency, I was just like, everything shut down. I just started streaming for charity on Twitch. And my clients all sat there and said, what? People play video games and then they just donate to charity? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a big thing. I know, I understand that you're a small nonprofit. And they're just like, there are adults that play video games was the one thing someone said. I was just like, okay, this is going to be a long conversation that we have here. But they still were interested enough because they're like, well, it's a way to fundraise. And at least at that moment in time, everything shut down and they're just like, we can't run our standard events. So it's a nice way to kind of get folks involved. And if they haven't heard of it, I can promise you, if you explain it to a nonprofit, they'll go, yeah, we'll try it. Sounds like a pretty reasonable idea. If it's $5, it's worth it, so.
We're good. I'm being conscious of time, so we can
Oh, yeah, we should be conscious.
Oh yeah, we're running through it. Okay.
All right, we're calling.
Hey, we got this. We got this.
Lightning round.
We just have so much info for you all.
We
I don't know
do.
what to say. So we're going to talk about some things that we can do for our audience really quick. Incentives, rewards, everything. I want you all to give examples of what you have done for your campaigns, incentives-wise.
So let me think. I like to do smaller ones that have some impact that is funny or outrageous, so like googly eyes on my face, or I really hate sour candy. Sorry, that's really controversial, but I hate sour candy. So like I have to eat like warheads, but I'm not allowed to have the fun part at the end. I have to like spit it out, and I can only have the sad sour part. Yeah, it's really brutal. They don't like me in the chat. It's not kind. Yeah, it's like, and inevitably someone will yell at me and be like, "No, it looks like it doesn't hurt anymore. You have to spit it out." I'm like, "This sucks." But one of my weird ones that I thought was pretty fun. So I was fundraising for the Humane Society of the United States one time around, and I was glad to be fundraising for them. But I also was like, okay, well, how do I make sure that there's something happening for something local to me as well? I'm super glad that the sort of national nonprofit is getting something, but I want to make local impact because my puppy was a rescue as well. And one of the incentives I had was if you donate a certain amount of money to the campaign, I'm going to go to like Petco or whatever and put together a basket, and that's going to be one item in the basket, and I'm going to go take it to my shelter that's nearby too. So it wasn't like make the streamer really sad and in pain from candy. Didn't make me look stupid with like googly eyes and tattoos, but it was like, hey, you can do this, and I will go do this other thing that is local to me. And people loved it. Like it was, I don't really know. I think it was just more of like, oh, this is another good thing that we can do. So that's my sort of favorite oddball one, is adding something to an additional piece.
I haven't done something like that. I've kept it to the haha, make streamer look funny route. The worst thing I've done, and please, please do not do this. Do not ever do this. I was silly, and I was very much on my, like, I can handle this. I drank an entire bottle of hot sauce. Don't do it.
No, that's the worst.
No. It was paid for in the form of hot sauce shots. However, I miscalculated how many hot sauce shots were in the bottle. And by the time I got to, like, having 2 of them left, I looked at the bottle and went, there's nothing left in here. I just drank a whole bottle of hot sauce. Somehow I was fine. It was habanero too, which is why I'm like, I don't know how I was fine, but don't do it. Not worth it. Know your limit. It is 100% not a whole bottle of hot sauce. It is probably also not half a bottle of hot sauce. Please take care of yourself. But one of the first things I ever did for charity that I just was like cleaning out my room during the pandemic, I found body glitter, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I just said, all right, well, if you donate $15, I'll just smear glitter on me. And I was doing an art stream for like the first time ever, and someone was just like, you're drawing? Yeah, you should wash your hands with glitter. And I just was like, all right, fine, we'll just do that then. But then it continued because everyone's just like, it's glitter. No one likes glitter. It gets everywhere. So it just became a thing, and I've just kept with it. I did find glitter, though, that does not get everywhere. It's called unicorn snot. It's delightful. Just want to point that out if you do want to go the glitter. I know.
You know what does get everywhere? Pies in the face.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, because whenever you like pie yourself in the face, it kind of like goes everywhere. So then suddenly you have pie on the wall and pie on the carpet, and now you got to clean all that up. But chat really enjoys watching pies in the face. I don't know what it is. Like, I'll be like, okay, you know, $100 for a pie. You know, it's like people will go the distance and they will watch you pie yourself in the face, and it's really hilarious. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, it gives those vibes of like, you know, throwing the ball at the dunk tank and watching someone like fall in. Like, I mean, if you're able to go that extreme, you have those materials, you might be able to do that. But yeah, pies in the face, oh man, that is an absolute blast. Like, my community loves it. It's top tier, top tier.
The pie is temporary, but the GIF is forever, so it's
pretty
worth it.
Oh my gosh. The GIF, the clips, they're permanent. The pie is truly never gone, so.
Also, if you have pets, they will find all the bits of pie you did not clean up off of the floor before you find it. I can promise you that. I discovered my cat really likes whipped cream that way.
And I know we're getting close on time. We do need time for Q&A, because I know you all have questions. I think we can just start a Q&A. But briefly, we can go over these slides quickly. First and foremost, take care of yourself, okay? Like I said earlier, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Please before you start your charity stream, listen, I had to go live in 5 minutes. I said I couldn't do it, you know, I rescheduled. It's okay. It's fine to do that. Reschedule, or, you know, what I did, I spent my time on Twitter just sharing links to the cause and other people streaming and fundraising. So you can do that too. Just make sure you take care of you. It's super, super important. All right, and you can ask for advice from me, other peers in the space. You know, how did you deal with this? How did you deal with charity burnout? You know, it's hard, but we've all gone through it. You just have to take a break and fill that cup back up. So, please.
I think there's also a physical component, like we're talking about hot sauce and stuff like that. Don't promise something that you are not, it's not safe to do for you.
Yeah.
And the sort of last line in the slide is really what's important. Even if you promised something to your community, it's okay to be like, I can't handle that today. Oh boy, this is the part where I made fun of myself on the slide. I can run this really quick if it's easy. So how do I get people to care about it? Promotion in social media. There's a couple of key things here. The Twitch tag, Smirky mentioned the charity tag. You could also type the org name, right? If you're, you know, fundraising for something specific, you type it in as a tag. It used to be standardized ones, but now they're custom typed. So type it in. Post things on your social. Post, you know, images and clips and stuff like that. It's super important to do that. Safety matters when you're sharing to your personal friends and family, but sometimes that helps a lot. I've had people become part of my community that are like some random Facebook friend from college, but there's a key of like, hey, don't tell chat how you know me. Don't be like, oh, we went to blah, blah, blah university together 5 years ago. No. So that's the one kind of caveat there.
Yes, and teams. I'm telling you right now, charity stream teams are wonderful, or just getting your community together as a team and fundraising makes it even more fun. On Tiltify in particular, we have a teams feature where you can invite people to a team and you fundraise in one giant pool for a cause. It's really, really fun. You can, again, like how Team Kitty and Team Rock Squad did a couple years ago, we had friendly competition. It was really, really fun. You know, we were like, neck and neck. It was like 49,000, 48,000, 50,000, 51,000. You were like, oh.
It was so much fun. And it was great because like the fun secret is like Ash as the leader of Rock Squad is also on Team Kitty. So it's like it's all the same thing. We're doing fun stuff and it's just for you know, number titles, and it was just a really fun way to navigate that. The collaboration with other broadcasters is super fun because you're doing something silly and wacky and weird with another creator that might be your friend or someone you've just met, and it's a fun way to get both communities involved.
Absolutely. And I do want time for Q&A.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
That's meant to talk about sort of collaboration with brands and how you get that together. I think we can probably, if someone wants to ask questions about that, that makes sense. But we can also probably, I'm assuming we can publish.
We have microphones on either side over here, so if you have a question, just come on up. And just a general rule of thumb about questions, I'm sure life story is great. I'm sure, you know, it's awesome, but we don't need the life story. You can just go ahead and stay clear, concise, ask your question, and also for the sake of time as well. So
you can come tell me your life story after. Like when we're done with time and they kick us out of the room, I'll be like life story.
We'll start here and then go there. So over here.
Okay, imagine you had a time machine and you met the very first charity stream you ran. What is the advice you would give your younger self?
That's a good question.
I have one. Don't be afraid to be cringe. It's gonna be cringe and silly, and like whatever that slide was where I had like stickers all over my face, and I was like, oh no, people aren't gonna take me seriously. Yes, they are, but for the fun stuff. What about you guys?
I feel like if I could like go back in time and just be like, hey, like, here's my bit of advice. You're gonna learn when you do it. Like you can read up about it, you can be at panels, you can like try to figure out everything, but it's okay if something goes wrong, whether you're alert or just like, I'm not gonna work now, have fun, and then you have to reset them every 45 minutes, or maybe like your OBS was just like, no, I'm gonna peace out and I'm just gonna crash, it's fine. It's okay, do not worry, you did not do a bad job. Things happen, tech issues happen. You'll be fine. The charity's not gonna be mad at you. No one's gonna be mad at you.
Yeah, don't be afraid to like doing what you're doing right, like ask questions, like, whether you're at a panel, whether you're reaching out to an organization to find out if they have a toolkit or if they, like what assets they have, anything. Afterwards, what can I learn from this? Like talking to other creators who might have also been fundraising for the same charity at the same time. That's, with our connection to causes like St. Jude, that's a great way, we ask each other questions. So that's what I would say. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next question.
Hello, I've got a question for Smirky. You brought up that pie idea earlier, and I wanted to know what kind of pie would you recommend for that? You think a good pumpkin or?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, there's all kinds of pie flavors out there for you to try. I mean, I do remember when I first tried the pie in the face. It was kind of a makeshift pie because I was in college. I didn't really go out and buy it. I did a plate of whipped cream and just tried that to start with. So it could be as simple as that. If you have items at home, you could go out and buy a pie, I guess, or bake one yourself. I don't know. I can't think of a particular pie flavor.
So
but
all pies are good, right?
all pies are good.
All right.
That's
Appreciate
the
it.
verdict. I got you.
I have some pies are not good. One time I was doing a whipped cream plate thing and I ran out, and I happened to be at my mom's house because in the middle of a move, and she goes, I have something, and it's this fancy pastry from her grocery store bakery. Yeah, don't do that. Whipped cream plate, easy answer. Don't do fancy pastries. It gets weird. Go ahead.
What is some particular guidance you'd give to large brands trying to enter this space?
I was going to say, I could take this one. That's actually something I do in the space. I think the biggest thing with brands that are trying to enter the gaming world is that this set of audiences, whether it's creators or viewers, are very tuned into authenticity. So work with folks who are in the space rather than sort of how do you do fellow kidsing your way into gaming. It gets really, really obvious. There are lots of places that do that sort of consulting. Given the fact that I have a microphone, I will shout out Radiance Media because that is the one that I run. But there are plenty of spaces who do stuff like that. Specifically in terms of charity, being able to work directly with, if it's a larger brand that is maybe not a nonprofit, finding a nonprofit that aligns with the mission or has a personal cause relation, and then using that relationship to talk to creators and kind of expand that audience can be really, really good. In terms of brands in general, nonprofits or not, entering the space, it's really just authenticity to creators and being able to speak their language and learning the space and knowing that you're not yet an expert in the space. It really matters.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hello, this is more from the organizer side. As a charity, what can we provide you as a charity streamer in those toolkits to help you have a successful stream?
Yeah, I definitely think about overlays. So pictures that you can throw onto OBS. Maybe it's a little tidbit about the organization itself, or just the event name if you're under a certain kind of event. Having social assets to promote on social media is also really good, with either a link to the main page or to the cause itself. And I'll start with that and you guys can build off of that.
A schedule template, I haven't seen that. That would be really cool that we can edit in Canva since that's free. That would be really cool. I would like that. And yeah, everything that comes with toolkits is wonderful. Images, of course, you said social images for social media, and just gifts that give. Just having that fact sheet is really important.
Yes, talking points.
That's number
Absolutely.
one. Yes.
If there's a way that we can convey what, the impact of the dollars for your cause, how are we impacting, how are our donations impacting your cause? That's such an important thing that is really great to include in those toolkits.
Yeah, I'm very much a please provide me with up-to-date facts. It would be greatly appreciated because for myself, with everything I do not have time to research everything. I know the charities that I want to support. I don't have time to go find the facts on my own.
My underrated add to that, and it's a lot more complex, that's harder for smaller orgs. I know you and I resonate with that. Videos. something I can do instead of a be right back screen the day I'm fundraising that will sit there and loop and tell the story for me so I don't have to. Not that I won't at another point, but like give me that intermission that I can go play a couple of minute video and walk away and then come back and be like, so what do you guys think? Anyway, let's get back to it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So he had my brand question before, but I want to know, especially from the two, you said you worked in marketing before. What are some brand and streamer collaborations in terms of charity streaming that you've seen so far that you feel like they did a really good job or that you've even worked with yourself?
Yeah, I like that. Nikki, like, how you take it. So ones that I really like that are typically simpler for a creator of any size to be able to ask for within reason is giveaways, right? Hey, I really like such and such a product. Hey, Elgato, Logitech, Alienware, would you be willing to donate something that I can give away to my community, you know, at the end of this campaign? I really like when that happens. I think on a large scale, when it comes to like the charitable organizations themselves, I love when like a game studio and a charity will work together and do like the special skin that benefits this thing. I think those are always super fun. From the creator side, it's a lot easier to start from, I can give away keys to this game. I can, you know, there was a whole section we wanted to talk about with that in terms of approach. Specific callouts, I'm not sure if I have like one in mind. I don't know if you guys do, but I love when there's, again, authentic brand inclusion because it's a product the streamer loves or they, you know, connects to the cause somehow. I think when we did, I can't remember what cause it was for. It was Breast Cancer Research Foundation. The BCRF had relationships with other brands as a nonprofit, and they gave us stuff to give out. It was like, oh, we have a particular sneaker or something. So that kind of stuff works very well for the creator
Yeah,
side.
I just like just quickly did a charity water campaign right before TwitchCon, and they have a partnership with Domino's. So they came in my chat, they gave me a few codes to give out to my community for free pizza. So like things like that. If you know those partnerships are active, reach out. You never know. You might be able to get some opportunities there.
Yeah, I've also approached like game studios and gotten free keys just to give out during like a charity stream, just to be like, hey, like I want to play this game on stream, but I want to make sure that like it's for charity and everything, and they were perfectly fine with it.
Thank you.
Of course.
I think we're going to cut it off there for Q&A, but don't worry, we're going to be out there. So we're just going to start migrating out of here, but thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We're happy to take microphone-less questions out there, but there is another panel that's got to get set up, so we want to give their time and space. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Oh my God, this chair is so loud.
man.
And the chairs are so loud. That's what I did when Smirky was introducing himself, and I was like,
I'm playing trumpet champ right now with the chair. Trombone champ, yes.
I think it's because I love, as soon as you said respectful, I'm like, oh God, it's 10:40.
I saw the time at the top right.